What's up, guys? My name is Brandon. You guys can call me Swifterrs, and welcome back to a brand new Fortnite video here on my channel. Today I am coming at you guys with a super exciting video because in today's video we're going to be taking a look at 10 Fortnite skins who were inspired by movie characters. Now, I would say that Fortnite is arguably one of the most popular games out there right now, and I do think that a major part of what makes Fortnite so enjoyable is the large range of skins for us to choose from while we play. Now, Fortnite is home to a ton of skins, and it's quite possible that some of these skins may have been inspired by some movie characters. So, of course, today we are going to be diving much deeper into 10 Fortnite skins who have some striking similarities with some key movie characters. So to go ahead and get started with today's video, the very first Fortnite skin, which appears to maybe have been inspired by a movie character, is the Rust Lord. Now, as I'm sure a lot of you guys already know, the Rust Lord is a skin which came to Fortnite back in the Season 3 Battle Pass, and it's from my understanding that the Rust Lord may have actually been inspired by the Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen Guardians of the Galaxy, but comparing these two images side by side definitely makes me question some things. Obviously, both of these characters appear to be wearing the exact same leather jacket. On top of that, they definitely appear to be wearing some sort of helmet that hides the majority of their facial features. I'm not saying that Epic Games or Fortnite ripped off Guardians of the Galaxy, but there are definitely some pretty interesting similarities between both the Rust Lord and the Star-Lord. So, moving on to the next Fortnite skin, which also may have been inspired by a movie character, this is the Carbide. Now, the Carbide is a skin which came to Fortnite back in the Season 4 Battle Pass, and when this skin dropped, a lot of people actually assumed that this skin was inspired by Iron Man. On top of that, as you guys can see, with a side-by-side comparison of both of these skins, you guys can definitely see that there are some pretty interesting similarities. Now, even though the Carbide has a blue and a black suit, and the Iron Man has a red and a gold suit, there are still some pretty interesting similarities to point out. The facial features look pretty similar, and overall, the suit is extremely similar to that of Iron Man. On top of that, given the fact that the Carbide is technically considered a superhero-themed skin, given the fact that our Season 4 Battle Pass theme was superhero, and the storyline heavily revolved around the rocket launching, and it heavily revolved around superheroes and supervillains, it definitely led a lot of Fortnite fans to believe that the Carbide was most definitely inspired by Iron Man. So, moving on to the next Fortnite skin, which may have been inspired by another movie character, and surprisingly, this is actually another superhero character. Here we have the Battlehawk. Now, the Battlehawk is another skin which came to Fortnite back during the Season 4 Battle Pass, and if you guys are fans of the Avengers, you guys may see a striking similarity between the Battlehawk and Thor in his Infinity War outfit. Now, both of these characters are wearing a pretty short shirt, and on top of that, they both have some pretty defined muscles, and I would say that the most striking similarity between these two characters is the fact that both of them have an eye patch over their right eye. Now, even though Thor isn't rocking a mohawk and he's not rocking any tattoos on his arm, it's very possible that the Battlehawk from the Season 4 Battle Pass may have actually been inspired by Thor from Infinity War. Continuing on to our next Fortnite skin, who was most definitely inspired by a movie character. Surprisingly, this is actually another superhero character, but here we have the Valor. Now, like our two previous skins, the Valor is also another skin which came to Fortnite back in the Season 4 Battle Pass, and of course, you guys could probably tell that the Valor may have actually been inspired by Wonder Woman. Now, this one is definitely an obvious one, and of course, as you guys can tell, there are a ton of similarities between these two skins. First off, they both appear to be wearing the exact same headband or the exact same headpiece on top of their forehead. Of course, they do have the exact same armor across their chest, their stomach, their groin, and they also appear to be wearing the exact same sleeves on both of their arms. Now, when the Valor first came to Fortnite back in Season 4, it was a skin that I really enjoyed using, and I honestly think that the overwhelming majority of players within the Fortnite community saw the similarities between the Valor and Wonder Woman, and I'm honestly a little bit surprised that no one has really brought up the similarities between this skin alongside all of the other Fortnite skins, which also appear to have some pretty interesting doppelgangers in the showbiz. So continuing on to our next Fortnite skin, who may have also been inspired by yet another movie character. I apologize because this character also appears to be inspired by yet another superhero, and I promise you guys this is our last Season 4 skin, but here we have the Omega. Now, as I said, the Omega is a skin which came to Fortnite back during the Season 4 Battle Pass, and this skin was actually available at tier 100, but it's quite possible that the Omega was inspired by Black Panther. Now, of course, as you guys can see, with this side-by-side comparison of these two skins, there are definitely some similarities between them, but I would honestly say that comparing these two skins is a little bit of a stretch compared to some of the previous skins that we just went over. But for those of you who have seen Black Panther, you guys know that when Black Panther gets hit or injured, he stores the kinetic energy and turns it into power. However, the Omega just sort of looks like he's walking around being powered by kinetic energy all the time, and on top of that, they both appear to be wearing an all-black bodysuit, and because of that, they definitely look extremely similar. So moving on to the next Fortnite skin, who was absolutely 100% inspired by a movie character. This is the Reaper. Now, as I'm sure a lot of you guys already know, the Reaper is a skin which came to Fortnite back during the Season 3 Battle Pass, and this skin was available at tier 100. Of course, the Reaper was definitely inspired by John Wick. The hair, the beard, the suit, literally everything about the Reaper is the exact same as John Wick. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen John Wick the movies, but they are really, really good. And I remember when this skin was first released, and whenever you saw someone using this skin back in Fortnite, you knew that that player was extremely good. So it was a super good time finally seeing a pop culture reference added in to Fortnite. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that the Reaper was actually the very first pop culture reference added into the game, but of course, the Reaper and John Wick are definitely the exact same character. Moving on to the 7th Fortnite character, who may have also been inspired by another movie character. This is the Merry Marauder. Now, of course, the Merry Marauder is a Christmas skin which first came to Fortnite back in December of 2017, and it's very possible that Epic Games is planning on re-releasing the Merry Marauder into the item shop extremely soon, considering we are rapidly approaching Christmas, and of course, there are actually a ton of leaks suggesting that the Merry Marauder is expected to be making a return into Fortnite, but it's quite possible that the Merry Marauder was inspired by Gingy from Shrek. Now, even though the facial features and the gumdrop buttons aren't exactly accurate, there are definitely some pretty interesting similarities between both of these two skins, and it's quite possible that when Epic Games was making the Merry Marauder, they definitely got some inspiration from the gingerbread in Shrek. So moving on to the next Fortnite skin, who may have been inspired by another movie character. Surprisingly, this is actually another Christmas themed skin, but here we have Codename Elf. Very similar to the Merry Marauder, Codename Elf first came to Fortnite back in December of 2017, and of course, it's quite possible that this skin may be returning in the item shop extremely soon, but of course, Codename Elf may have been inspired by Buddy from Elf. Of course, Elf is a classic Christmas movie, and given the fact that we are almost at Christmas and it's pretty much the holiday times right now, I definitely wanted to include Codename Elf in today's video because the similarities between Codename Elf and Buddy from Elf the movie are definitely there. So moving on to the 9th Fortnite skin, who may have also been inspired by another movie character. This is the Skull Trooper. Now, up until a little bit over a month ago, the Skull Trooper was definitely considered to be a pretty rare skin, considering Epic Games had not brought it back in the item shop for nearly a year. But of course, as I said a couple of months ago, the Skull Trooper returned to Fortnite, but it's quite possible that the Skull Trooper may have actually been inspired by Johnny from Karate Kid. Now, I've actually never seen Karate Kid, so I was pretty surprised to learn that the Skull Trooper may have actually been inspired by a character from that movie. Again, there are some pretty interesting similarities between the two, but of course, you guys can be the judge for yourself. Moving on to the 10th and final skin for today's video that may have also been inspired by yet another movie character. Here we have the Leviathan. Now, the Leviathan is obviously a skin which is available in the item shop, and surprisingly, the Leviathan was actually in the item shop not too long ago, but it's from my understanding that the Leviathan may have been inspired by Minion from Megamind. Now, even though these characters are not 100% accurate to one another, there's definitely a pretty strong similarity between the two, being the fish tank on the top of their heads. Now, of course, you guys can be the judge for this skin alongside all of the other skins that I mentioned in today's video, but of course, I do want you guys to let me know your thoughts, opinions, and your feedback regarding all of these Fortnite skins who may have been inspired by movie characters in the comment section below. Regardless, guys, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to drop a like down below, subscribe if you're new. With that being said, I'll be sure to catch you guys later.